Greetings, fellow Rangers. Last time we discussed a game that was near and dear to me. Today we discuss its competitive counterpart, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the Sega Genesis. It's Morphin Time! Not a whole lot has changed plot-wise between the two games, but there is one huge difference. This game is a 1v1 tournament fighter in the vein of Street Fighter 2. While this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it does limit the game some. There is a story mode, but aside from a cutscene at the beginning, one after the second stage, and the ending, complete with a cameo by Titanus, there's only scenes of the Megazord coming together and a lead-in at the beginning of each stage, which is the exact same every time. Not a whole lot to it. The monsters you face are all fought in the same areas for the first stage of the battle, a nondescript bridge. There is a little more variety in the Megazord fights though, with battles taking place near a cliffside, in front of a volcano, in front of some sort of weird temple thing in Alaska, amidst buildings and skyscrapers in Angel Grove, and finally, the moon in front of Rita's palace. Again, they can't all be original. Start off each match picking your ranger. We're still working with the original 5 at this point in the series, although each one begins the game morphed this time. There's not a civilian stage in sight this time around, but given the genre on display here, it works fine, can't complain about it too much. And I can't forget to mention that each ranger has their own character models to go along with their individual weapons. Gone are the days of the overly muscular Red Ranger palette swaps. That's an area where all of the Genesis games are ahead of the SNES versions, but we'll get to that at a later time. Running down the list of monsters, there's the Mighty Minotaur, who is noteworthy for being the first monster the Rangers defeat with their power weapons in the show. The evil Green Ranger, more on that later. Madame Woe, the first female monster to be battled in the show. Goldar, Rita's right-hand man. And finally, that bastard Cyclopsis is back. Although you do get a health recharge between forms this time. The first part of each stage is with your ranger going one-on-one with each monster, with the second half letting you take control of the badass Dino Megazord. Except for the Cyclopsis fight, with both stages being a Megazord fight. Now, I think may be the appropriate time to address the elephant in the room. Or rather, the dragon in the room, because I'm a cheeky bugger. Stage 2 involves a fight against the Green Ranger, who is under the spell of Rita at this time. Now, as a fan who only has the SNES game to compare it to, just having Tommy included as a boss was monstrous. But wait, it gets better. After you defeat Tommy and his Dragon Sword, you can play as him. I'll repeat that for those in the cheap seats. You can play as the Green Ranger in this one. Even better, you get him a third of the way into the game, so you have ample opportunity to fight with him and his, you guessed it, badass Dragon Sword. You even get a change-up when you play as him. Before the beginning of the second stage of the fight, you get to see the Green Ranger summon the mighty Dragon Zord in all its 16-bit glory, complete with the chiptunes version of the Dragon Dagger flute thingy. I can assure you it's just as fantastic as it sounds. This game has a lot going for it. Dare I say, even more than the SNES version has to offer. Blasphemy, I know you scream. Well, yes, it can be blown through in about 25 minutes, on easy anyways, which is how long it took me. It does have an unlockable character in the Green Ranger / Dragon Zord, different difficulty levels, and even a sound test, the crown jewel of 16-bit games. I'm at a serious disadvantage with this one though. I am really bad at tournament fighters. Like, really bad. I do enjoy them, but especially with these older fighters, after the third fight or so, I cannot make any progress with them unless I bottom the difficulty out, assuming it has a difficulty. I unfortunately had to do it with this game. I'm also ashamed to admit that I resorted to button mashing in most of the fights, although even on higher difficulties it is super easy to spam one move and still win. This game is also one that I played a lot as a child, but I didn't own it. I constantly rented it, just because of the name, somehow managing to beat it on numerous occasions, or so I recall. Because of that, it doesn't hold as high a place in my overall pantheon of the games. But having played both versions back to back, I can definitely say that this is the better version. As mentioned before, it can literally be blown through in about 25 minutes, so it does lose a few points on that front. But everything else is leaps and bounds ahead of the SNES version. While the Rangers all handle similarly, which they should, all being human, the monsters and Zords handle with the kind of weight you'd expect from these creatures. It just works! It all comes together into a perfect storm of 1v1 fighting, 16-bit monsters, and badass special moves. And as a bit of useless, irreverent trivia, this game is unique in that it features two monsters that never grew in the show, but do in the game. The Mighty Minotaur and Madame Woe. Told you it was a bit of useless trivia. I'd also like to take this opportunity to mention the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game on Sega CD. It is fairly unique in that it actually features 9 episodes of the show that you play through in a style reminiscent of Dragon's Lair or Space Ace. There's only one problem with this, though. It just doesn't work. You have to have the reflexes of a damn ninja to make any headway on the upper difficulties. Even worse, the only way to see the whole game is to play on Expert, which gives you about 0.2 seconds to react to each step. It is not a good game, and I cannot advise anybody even attempt to play it, unless it's out of sheer curiosity or stupidity, like myself. And on top of everything, the video quality is complete ass. Like most Sega CD games, the colors are muddy, the picture is almost always pixelated beyond recognition, and the sound quality matches the video. It does have the added advantage of not being postage stamp size though, so that's always nice. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can know when I post a new video. Next time, the ooze is back! Have a more phenomenal day, fellow Rangers.